Are you looking for 8 best things to do in Santorini? Santorini's volcanic interest performs a position in lots of islands' famous sports, from swimming and sunbathing on the molten-dyed seashores to exploring historical ruins as soon as buried in ash. Even the taste of wine right here is laid low with the island's volcanic terrain, creating a ride to certainly considered one among Santorini's many wineries a have-to-do interest for foodies. Outdoorsy sorts will revel in trekking alongside the caldera from Fira, in which the metropolis of Atlantis turned into stated to have as soon as stood. Whatever you pick to do in Santorini, you cannot pass over a sundown from Oya, or whilst eating alfresco in Amoudi Bay. Here is the list of 8 best things to do in Santorini. 1. Kamari Beach. Santorini's volcanic records has caused the formation of a number of the extra-precise seashores inside the Greek Isles, and Kamari isn't any exception. Sitting approximately 4 miles southeast of Fira at the island's east coast, this stretch of black sand is certainly considered one among the most important in Santorini. The seashore is sponsored by way of means of the city of its namesake, a famous motel location in which you will discover several hotels, restaurants, and beachside bars and shops. On the seashore, site visitors can take benefit of the to-be-had living room chairs and umbrellas. Travelers love the clean blue waters of Kamari and caution planting your toes in the direction of the southern part of the shore. That's due to the fact the perspectives of the enforcing Mesa Vauno Hill, in which you could discover ancient Fira, makes for a picture-best Greek seashore setting. No count in which you make a decision to chill on Kamari Beach. Tourists strongly recommend bringing defensive footwear. The sand and pebbly terrain can get pretty warm with the solar beating down on it, particularly after a pair hours, so carry sandals in case you're hoping to spend the day at the seashore. Some site visitors even caution bringing water shoes, commenting that the underwater terrain on the shore fast is going from sand to slippery strong rock. 2. Amoudi Bay. For stunning perspectives of the caldera, descend the 300 steps from the northern metropolis of Oya to the captivating port of Amoudi Bay, surrounded by a way of means of putting pink cliffs and dotted with whitewashed homes usual to Santorini. This little village capabilities numerous old-fashioned tavernas serving up the seas of the day. Aside from digging inside the bounty of the sea, site visitors can revel in a few swimming right here. 11. Though the seashore is rocky so that you have to carry suitable footwear, particularly in case you plan on cliff diving. On the small island of St. Nicholas, visible from Amoudi Bay's seashore, site visitors can climb upstairs from the water onto the small, rocky island and leap from a chosen factor. Travelers admit there is not an entire lot to do in Amoudi Bay. However, the nice of the bay extra then makes up for the amount of sports it gives. Visitors had been dazzled by a way of means of the splendor of Amoudi Bay and stated simply eating alfresco turned into all they had to absorb the website online. Most strongly cautioned to devise a ride inside the past due afternoon, as a sundown from Amoudi is a domain to behold. 3. Fira to Oya hike. The quality manner to soak up Santorini is to stroll, and there's no higher course than the only from Fira to Oya. This hike is 6 miles one manner and passes via 4 towns, along with Fira, Stefani, Imeravigli, and Oya. It's critical to realize that there's no marked path or pathway for this hike. However, account of following the roads closest to the caldera. Along the manor, tourists will discover several websites really well worth preventing for. Further to mind-blowing ocean perspectives and picturesque towns. One of those is Scarrows Rock. Today, this headland is a famous vantage factor for looking sunsets. However, in yesteryears it housed a fortress that served because the high assembly region for Christians throughout the 1,800 seconds. There's additionally several church buildings dotted throughout, along with the Blue Dome St. Gerasimo's Church, which gives great perspectives of the volcano. Once you hit Oya, you will discover Byzantine fortress ruins open for exploration. 4. Ancient Fira. Separating Kamari from Parissa on pinnacle of Mesa Vauno is ancient Fira. This archaeological website online, which turned into first claimed via way of means of the Dorians inside the 9th century BC, is domestic to ruins from the Hellenistic, Roman, and Byzantine eras. Stroll via ancient Fira, and you may discover ruins of historical non-secular websites, a theater, vintage metropolis administrative homes, or even a fitness center for army trainees. Recent tourists observed the ruins of ancient Fira to be thrilling. 11. Though many stated the breathtaking perspectives of the Aegean Sea had been quite distracting, travelers who walked from the city of Kamari as much as Mesa Vauno encouraged the scenic stroll in case you're in shape. It takes approximately an hour to stand up, and there's minimum coloration alongside the manor. Along with the first-rate perspectives, tourists cherish the low charge of admission into the ruins and assessment to ancient Akrotiri. 5. Winery tours. When conjuring up pics of well-known wine destinations, one would possibly consider France or Italy. However considerate or now no longer, Santorini is taken into consideration a most fulfilling wine vacation spot in Europe. That's due to the fact the soil wherein the wine grows in Santorini, that's in part composed of volcanic sediment, creates a thrilling taste hard to discover elsewhere. Not most effective that, however, right here, vines timber are regularly fashioned into circles and grown at the ground to guard the crop from sturdy ocean winds. Wineries may be observed all around the island. However, maximum are focused in imperative Santorini. Santo Wines and Pigos is the most important vineyard at the island and taken into consideration one of the maximum famous in Santorini. Other preference spots amongst tourists encompass Veneziano's winery in Megalochori and Domaine Sigalas in Oia. Travelers additionally love the wine museum Giannopoulos, observed in Fira. Located in a cave, the museum showcases Santorini's records as a wine manufacturer and gives site visitors a tasting with their ticket. When journeying a vineyard, consumers generally tend to get hold of a complimentary snack consisting of bread and cheese together with their tasting. For individuals who won't have the time to make a day trip of journeying wineries, lots of Santorini's wines are featured with inside the island's restaurants. Ask your server approximately neighborhood wines or maintain an eye fixed out for Vinsanto, Nichteri, or Assitico. Each of that are white wines. 6. Red Beach. It's critical to realize that seeing that 2013 Red Beach has been on look ahead to landslides, and prone elements of the seashore are sanctioned by a way of means of rope for site visitors now no longer to enter if you are uncomfortable journeying this attraction. However, nevertheless need to get an eyeful of pink cliffs, go to Amoudi Bay, located much less than a mile southwest of ancient Akrotiri. This seashore earns its call from its towering pink cliffs and darkish sand. Travelers say the surroundings is stunning. Make certain to carry a digital digicam to take pics of the stark comparison among the brick pink cliffs and the aquamarine water. While the water might also additionally appearance tempting to dip your feet in, tourists strongly recommend deciding on an exceptional coastline because the website online of your seashore day. Some even recommend skipping this spot completely for some of reasons. Travelers have stated that there's no paved course to get to the seashore. Visitors have to park at a parking zone close by, then traverse a rocky pathway to the seashore. Some stated they failed to realize how rugged the course might be previous to journeying and had first-rate hassle making it to the seashore without sneakers. Travelers had been additionally eager to factor out that the seashore is small, and until you get there early or are visiting with inside the off-season, it could get very crowded very fast. What's extra, the rough, rocky sand made it tough for a number of site visitors to in reality chill and relax. On the alternative hand, individuals who did revel in their revel-in at Red Beach caution trekking to the seashore to get and examine its highly precise geography and go away it at that. 7. Ancient Akrotiri. This charming archaeological website online turned into first observed with inside the past to 1860s. However, its homes date lower back to an advanced than 17th century BC. This former Minoan outpost, which, in step with the Greek Ministry of Culture, is taken into consideration one of the maximum critical prehistoric settlements of the Aegean Sea, turned into as soon as a thriving port city. The metropolis turned into later destroyed via way of means of a huge volcanic eruption, the equal one which made Santorini appear like it's far today. Thanks to years of excavation, sufficient of the website online has been uncovered to permit site visitors to explore. Here, tourists can examine multi-stage homes, hundreds of pottery or even drainage systems. What is absent, however, is any signal of its former residences. This has led scientists to consider that Akrotiri's preceding population knew of the eruption and fled the island accordingly. Most tourists had been inspired with ancient Akrotiri. Visitors strongly encourage securing a manual to take you across the website online and provide an explanation for its wealthy records. Otherwise, as different tourists who went without a manual noted, you may turn out to be spending a while gazing a gaggle of rocks. Some lamented the excessive front price, particularly the more price that includes reserving a manual. However, individuals who did stated the cost turned into absolutely really well worth expertise Santorini's charming records to get a higher glimpse of the frescoes and different artwork observed in ancient Akrotiri. Make certain to go to the Museum of Prehistoric Fira. 8. Museum of Prehistoric Fira. Taking a ride to the Museum of Prehistoric Fira is a first-rate manner to complete exploring the ruins of Santorini's historical cities. This tiny museum with inside the coronary heart of Fira homes frescoes and different archaeological treasures observed throughout the excavation of ancient Akrotiri, which turned into destroyed via way of means of the volcanic eruption that made Santorini appear like it does today. Some of the portions right here date lower back numerous thousand years and provide perception into early human existence at the Greek islands, making this a thrilling region to test out in case you're eager to getting to know extra approximately the island's records. Travelers who visited stated that is quality explored after your go to Akrotiri, as many say it offers more context to the tale of ancient Akrotiri. Also, having a hobby in artwork or records helps, as site visitors who are not huge on both observed the museum to be a piece boring. However, the museum is quite small, so even when you have simply the slightest hobby, a go to right here might not soak up masses of a while.